All right, first of all, thank you for coming to the session. My name is Ryan, and I want to preface by saying that I am not an expert in AI or research integrity. We weren't able to send a representative from our company directly in the field, but you have little old me to present with what you have in stock with MDPI, and also just to define a little bit of what the field has regarding AI usage, and also in relations to editorial process of what we have as well. So this whole presentation is mainly to really start and initiate a conversation so that we, as a team of our industry partners and also industry colleagues, to really share in what we can do to safeguard and also do our part as well to safeguard the research integrity and research sciences, etc. as well. So once again, my name is Ryan, and I'm the Institutional Partnership Manager, more so for the North American side and North American accounts. Let's get started with just a general content of what we have for today. Basically, starting off with a definition of AI and just some background information about the usage of AI, and then we will go into the AI ethics, the publication ethics, and then how us at MDPI is using the policy guidelines, and also how we aim to safeguard this from with different limitations, and to safeguard like peer reviewing and also the editorial process as well. And then last but not least, how we integrate our AI into our editorial processes at MDPI as well. So as per the the Publisher Association definition is AI is defined as a very broad term encompassing multiple technologies like the computer senses and aim for comprehension, to act, and also to learn. But this is also in combination with the machine learning and also deep learning as well, either alone or in combination, utilizing also natural language processing and also voice recognition and also computer vision. I can say that this definition is the only current one that we have right now. As we know, the field itself has really been evolving from day to day. Like the presentations from today might be totally obsolete by tomorrow. So we don't know what's in stock, but at least right now, this is what we have and what we aim to do in the immediate future as well. So with the rise of LLM and in scientific writing, it has really boomed around the release of ChatGPT in around the late 2022s, where we can see that from the graph, starting from around 2023, we can see a high exponential growth from in areas like computer sciences, engineering, and also statistics, and basically all fields have been increasing in usage of AI as well, and LLMs. Especially like I actually haven't heard about like AI and everything until my professor told me like, okay, have you heard about this ChatGPT program over here? You can just put in your information and data, and it'll spit out like a draft of the manuscript for you and everything, and they played around with it, and it was pretty great. So like from the start of like 2023, that's where it really started. And of course, with all that, more concerns about like risk of using AI and everything has also emerged as well. So some usage of AI in scientific writing involves, of course, translational work, proofreading, and like other literature reviews, etc., as well as, of course, coding. But with that also comes with more concerns about Gen AI in academia, which encompasses like inaccuracy in information, increase in plagiarism, either intentional or unintentional as well. From my perspective, also discouraging critical thinking. While doing graduate studies, one of the main things about doing research is really doing critical thinking, gathering what you learn from reading in the field, applying what is suitable for your research and what is not suitable for research. But with the reliance of Gen AI and the reliance on the technology, the next generation may be lacking those kind of critical skills to translate into more thinking out of the box kind of mentality as well, and heavily relying on Gen AI. So that's one of the concerns, at least for myself, a concern for academia. But of course, it's very powerful and everything, but it also comes with different limitations from LLM. So one of the few that we've talked about would be hallucinations, where sometimes LLMs often reinvent or mix stuff up. So they really heavily rely on their training data, whatever we use to train them, or whatever they harvest online as well. So they can, and also they're designed to give you an actual answer. So even if they don't have the necessary information or the right answers, they will reinvent an answer for you. So that's something that we need to be worried about. Oftentimes, since they're scraping anything from online and also whatever material that we present, it also includes bias and also stereotyping as well. Any prejudice that's also in the data itself will also be magnified at multiple folds and give you a biased conclusion or a response. And then, of course, the absence of true reasoning. We may think that AI is giving you, whenever they give you an answer, they understand what they're giving it to you. But in reality, it's not the case. They're really using word associations where they literally search on the web or whatever data they are presented and see what kind of words kind of match in pairs, basically. So one simple example could be like, you may ask AI, why do people wear winter jackets in the winter, for instance? And they can easily tell you, okay, it's because they want to keep warm. That's a very logical and acceptable answer, but do they actually understand why it's actually the reason behind actually wearing the coat? They literally just find on the internet what really matches with the keywords winter jacket and whatever words that they find, and most likely it'll be for warmth or to keep warm, something like that, and that's the most obvious answer, and they'll provide you with that kind of model answer, and it's acceptable as logical, but they don't have the current reasoning behind that yet. Of course, maybe tomorrow they will start learning how to reason properly and to be able to do complex multi-step computations and problems. But at the moment, the reasoning behind that is not, at least from my knowledge, is not known yet. Now we bring into the AI and publication ethics, where how can AI help researchers in doing better in terms of their work, their research, and whatever they do. Of course, the first thing is really gathering references and any information that they need from in the research field, because there's hundreds and millions of articles out there that may or may not be applicable to their own research, and that might be useful. So using AI, they can really gather all the information, provide you with summaries, give you a list of articles and references that may be applicable to the researcher, and then they can use that to further refine for their own research as well. Secondly, they can draft and kind of structure the manuscript themselves. You can just upload the parts information, and then they can generate a very plausible and workable draft so that the authors can really work off of that as well. That's something and saves you a lot, or saves them a lot of time. Number three could be improving writing quality. The art of really the spell check and grammar check is really outdated already. With the implementation of AI, has really expanded into tone adjustments, so that if you're not a natural English speaker, for instance, they can change your tones to be more academically acceptable and to avoid those desk rejections just because of the lack of structure or the lack of coherent writing and stuff like that. So that's something that will be useful for them. And last but not least, of course, data analysis and also visualization. Simply just putting your data points and everything in there, they can spit out very nice figures, nice graphs and charts, so that you can be used for your manuscripts or for presentations and so on, without actually enter every single point into your Excel. You can just upload it, and then they can present you with a visualization. But of course, like the saying goes, there are also risks associated with all this as well. It's all powerful, kind of omnipotent in a way, but it can really affect the credibility, the integrity, and also legality if it's not really handled carefully. So we want to highlight and ensure that researchers know and understand the limitations and risks when they're using AI. So some of these include hallucinations, which I talked about as well. They can potentially use AI to generate plausible but fake references, which I will talk about that afterwards. Incorrect facts and also misquotes of sources as well. Plagiarism and copyright infringements are something that's pretty common as well. They scrape all the information from online and whatever information that's presented, but then they don't know who to attribute the credit to as well. So they would assume whatever is out there is all usable and it's fair game, but in reality, we have to contribute credits to where it's due. But in their case, they don't know that. And then authorship and ethical concerns. Writing a manuscript is a pretty laborious and also a lengthy task as well for an author. And if if an AI is really generating all these writing for them, then we have to question like who's the actual author of the manuscript, and that raises a lot of ethical and concerns. Bias amplification, which I mentioned before, so whenever there's any biases, it will be multiplied by multiple folds. And of course, data privacy and also confidentiality. The risk of data leak, like I myself wouldn't want my hard work to be uploaded to the AI and at the end of the day being used by someone else from a competitor lab or another research group as well. So I don't want that to be leaked, and this will further increases the risk of that data leak. So why is AI also challenging? Like AI tools itself is highly realistic, it's really human-like as well, and really performs a wide range of useful language tasks at the very least. They use the technology itself raises really concerns relating to the authenticity and also the credibility of the academic work. The bots itself cannot be listed as an author because they can't stand behind and say like, okay, and yeah, they can't take ownership of those words. And yeah, AI can interpret a widely accepted answer rather than scientifically proven ones as well. So like maybe your conclusion is very different where like, okay, it's actually disproving what is known in the field, and that's something groundbreaking. But because if you use AI, it's taking any information that is more widely accepted, and it'll give you a more like an answer that is with the field rather than against the field. So it's going against of what you're trying to prove as well. So I will later on also talk about the mismatch between like the methodologies and also the results and stuff that makes it an indicator that it's AI generated, but we'll talk about that afterwards. And of course, AI itself can fabricate data, results, and any other findings as well. Just because they're designed to give you an answer, they're going to reinvent the wheel as well. So what are some common indicators, some like common fingerprints that we can see and kind of hint that it may be AI generated? One of the common ones is non-existing or irrelevant references. So they can, yeah, like maybe out of 100 references, there's only 95 references out there, but you ask them to give you 100. So they'll be, okay, so we don't have the last 5, so let's just figure something out and give you something falsified. It will look like it's real, but then maybe it's like the title is slightly different, and then they invent a journal, and then the DOI will be random, and then when you click on it, it'll be absurd and they can't even find it. So that's something that a possibility indicator that could be potential culprit for AI generated paper. Tortured phrases, something that's very common as well. Like normal phrases on the right hand side, we can see like artificial intelligence, breast cancer, and also deep learning, etc. Those are the normal phrases that we will see. But if you ask them to rephrase it, it will give you tortured phrases. One of them, actually for breast cancer, I've seen this in person as well. I've seen manuscript that actually use bosom disease or bosom pearl, and that's one highlight. And it's not like a one-time thing. It's been multiple times across the whole manuscript, and that's one of the clearer indication that there's something wrong with it, like a major red flag. Other ones could be I haven't seen deep learning into profound learning, but for myself, artificial intelligence to counterfeit consciousness and also breast cancer to bosom disease is something that I've seen in person firsthand as well. Other ones could be inconsistent and also vague methodology, especially in biology, which I've been in research in. We provide a lot of more detailed methodologies like the exact kit that was used, the manufacturer, and then like how many microliters and everything was used from the kit, step by step, basic kind of like a protocol. But since the AI themselves have not done the research or done the actual experiment themselves, they don't know all that detail. So the methodology itself will be very vague, and it won't be enough to repeat the experiment, while the more legitimate ones will have sufficient information, at least be able to purchase the kits themselves, follow the instructions, and then repeat the experiments themselves to prove whether it's real or fake. Not presenting new findings. Oftentimes, like we said, they only take whatever is accepted in the field, and if it's counterintuitive to what the general is accepted, then they might not give you an actual finding and just reiterate what is already there. And of course, the conclusion and discussion does not address the initial hypotheses or the research question that is probably because you tease out like in different parts, and then it doesn't really flow from the beginning to the end. So therefore, they misaddress what is actually there, and then they just come up with a random answer at the end, a random conclusion. Like I mentioned before, one of the case studies that I've found is non-existing references. This was actually published in 2023, so it was right at the heart of ChatGPT just started, so we didn't really have much infrastructure or really guidelines to really catch these kind of stuff. So then afterwards we saw that, okay, this is something fishy over here. It's been published already. So what do we do? So we checked it, and then we found out that there's at least 4 consecutive references that look almost identical, but was just slight modifications in the title. And then when we actually do the cross-ref with the DOIs, it's non-existent. So that's only one indicator of, but there's multiple other ones as we did more investigation. But at the end of the day, it was retracted because it's AI generated, and we want to safekeep that from the research community. So aside from the paper itself, the review reports can also be AI generated as well. So the tools and other like Gen AIs and other LLMs can potentially, if you upload, which it's not allowed, uploading the manuscript onto AI, they can provide you with a glimpse of a review, like what to improve and what's good and what's bad, etc. To appear like it's like an actual peer reviewing report. But of course, that's highly unethical because of many issues, which I'll define later on. But under no circumstances should a reviewer upload any under review data or anything related to that onto Gen AI or any AI tools because of confidentiality issues. Some indicators and some fingerprints with AI generated reviews involves like minor reports with no specific revision points. So it could be like very superficial, like they only talk about like the stylistic stuff and maybe the structure of the manuscript, but no actual constructive feedback about like the methodology, the results that or anything that they missed in terms of discussions, nothing major. Reviewers responding way too quickly. So maybe like they accepted the invitation, in an hour or two, they just send a report, and it seems like it's pretty constructive, but at the same time, it's more or less unlikely that it would be that quickly to actually read the full paper and provide constructive feedback into that level as well. Templated reports, if we have records of multiple reports from them, we can also check whether it's very similar to their other reports as well. And if it's highly relevant or highly similar, then that's another red flag. Same thing, very general explanations of content and no evidence of thorough evaluation. But I want to preface by saying that these are only indicators and not the verdict. So we still need an expert in the field to define whether this was AI generated or not. Same thing for reviewers, same thing for the papers as well. We need a human in the loop to ensure that these indicators is proven that this is AI generated. So it's using as a suggestion, but not as a verdict. So now how do we safeguard and implement policy? Implement the policy defined by STM and also COPE. So MDPI, we enact that. We follow the guidelines pretty strictly. And in general, the guidelines would be the authors must disclose any sort of usage of AI tools, especially the keyword would be generated. So if they generated anything from AI, that must be disclosed in detail. If it's more for like just checking for grammar, checking for structures and everything, that's more acceptable, and that may not be necessary to disclose. But if they generate anything, that must be disclosed. And then so it has been disclosed in the methodology, in the methods, and also in the acknowledgement section. Authors themselves are held responsible for anything that AI spits out because they themselves don't have the capacity to take ownership of whatever they write. They can just take whatever information that they were given, and then they will give you an answer. They don't know the reasoning behind it, so they'll just give you an answer. So the authors themselves, even if it's wrong, the authors are held liable for what the AI has written, basically. And then AI tools cannot be listed as authors, of course. And then the Gen AI tools are strictly prohibited from a peer reviewing process and also for editorial decision processing as well. This is the current guideline. I'm pretty sure there are new guidelines in the works as well with other industry partners, but currently this is what we're following at the moment. So despite the advantages and also the Gen AI really introduces lots of critical ethical concerns in publishing as well. Some of them are to follow. So ghostwriting and authorship integrity, that's something that like should we include AI as a actual author? And of course, the short answer is no, but that's a challenge there. Fabrication of data, it might be fake data, fake images. Like we've seen lots of examples of what fake images are like. So yeah, the AI can definitely do that. Undisclosure of AI use, that really addresses the transparency issue. So we want everything, like both from the publisher side and the author side should be transparent of what they do. We need to be transparent in terms of what we look for, in terms of regulations, and the authors should also be transparent to show what they use in terms of the AI usage. And same thing, bias in AI systems, they will introduce bias into the system upon using, when we add more bias into the system, which will affect the academic decisions and also the reviewing decisions as well. So how do we maintain research integrity in general? There are 3 key points basically. The first one is transparency, and then accountability, and last but not least, verification. So transparency is literally authors, they must disclose any sort of significant use, and of course, keyword again, generated, use of AI in their manuscript preparations. In terms of accountability, authors themselves must be held responsible. A human author must be held responsible. So we don't want the bag of negligence saying that, oh, I don't know what the AI wrote, and like I'm not held responsible. Like, I didn't write the section. Like those kind of complicated issues and logistics. All human authors are held liable for whatever the manuscript content is. And verification from our editor side and publisher side, we have a duty to really ensure the authenticity of data, images, and also the citations are correct and that they are suitable for the paper. And that's something that we need to uphold in terms of standard. And what are we adopting in terms of safeguarding? AI use of disclosure, of course, at MDPI, the policy itself is similar to the STM and also COPE. Editorial checks, our editors are trained to identify those fingerprints to suggest that this may or may not be AI generated, both in the reports and also for the manuscript themselves. Currently, we recommend an acknowledgement statement at the very end, something like during the preparation of this manuscript/study, the author used, for instance, ChatGPT version 5 for the purpose of blank, so like for the creation of figure 2, 4, and 6 or something. Then the most important one would be the authors have reviewed and edited the output to take full responsibility of the content of this publication. So that's really the kicker. They themselves, the authors, should acknowledge that, yes, we have used AI and we take ownership of whatever they spat out, basically. And just to say that the statement itself is going to be updated as well based off of the common standards in industry. So this recommendation of statement will be updated soon as well. So we have both sides once again in terms of regulations, slightly different but very similar. So author side, Gen AI cannot be an author. That's the number one. They are permitted if it's only using for stylistic changes or any grammar and spelling. But if it's for any generation of like figures or charts or any information, that must be disclosed, and it's must either be not permitted or it must be disclosed. And disclosure requirements, so it must be disclosed. On the reviewer side, it's a little bit more strict, where there cannot be any use of AI, especially you can't upload the paper under process into Gen AI or any LLM tool to provide you with a review report. That's totally unacceptable. And it constitutes a breach of peer reviewing confidentiality and also copyrights, security, and also confidentiality as well. So AI in the editorial process overall is the usage of this publication process can really streamline a lot of these which originally thought to be a more laborious kind of work, but AI can really help reduce the amount of labor from our editors and also from the authors as well. But at the end of the day, human oversight is absolutely necessary to ensure that everything doesn't fall apart. Someone must be holding the fort together. And in terms of AI and editorial process, it can be done in a few ways. The first one is reviewer finders. AIs can help find suitable reviewers that are within their expertise and reduce the amount of, off-targeted and out of expertise kind of invitations, and thus relieving some of the reviewer pool as well. Because as we all know in the industry, we're having some more reviewer fatigue as well. So there's like with the amount of papers that's actually there has really skyrocketed in the last 10 plus years or so, from where a reviewer maybe get 1 or 2 invitations a day or maybe in a week, is now getting 20 or more invitations a day because of the amount of journals, amount of papers that needs to be reviewed. And the pool is not getting that much bigger, it's maintaining the same, if not even shrinking as well. So we must reduce the amount of invitations that we're sending out to ensure we don't worsen the situation. Other ones would be plagiarism and redundancy detection as well. So AI tools can really detect whether it's been duplicated in kind of like the STM hub. They really check whether someone has submitted to multiple different journals at the same time, and thus reduce the amount of work that's been redundant work that's being worked on. And at MDPI, we use the STM duplication detector. They can also automatically detect COIs, so conflict of interest detections, to ensure that there is no biases in terms of peer reviewing and also for decision making as well. So for us, anyone that has 5 years, if they've collaborated with any of the authors within the 5 years, then they are not eligible for reviewer or as the decision makers as well. So we have to find reviewers that's outside of those criteria, and the COI detection will ensure that this is gatekept. And so AI should assist but not replace human judgments in the peer reviewing process. So human in the loop is something that we need to upkeep, and that also leads to some of the 3 principles that at publisher ourselves should keep is human in the loop, of course, and maintaining someone really in the whole process of this automation, all these checks, someone must be there to supervise and also to ensure that these are not falling apart. Disclosure and consent, something that, it requires authors to disclose any usage of AI usage, especially for any generated images or generations of text. And continuous monitoring, something that I mentioned constantly as well. Things are really evolving very quickly, very constantly. So we need to monitor and change our regulations and change our guidelines as the projects go. We're kind of playing catch up as well, because the field is just moving way too fast, and the guidelines and the regulations are not catching up as fast. So we just have to be really be keen on what's out there, and also to provide our guidance as much as possible to our authors, and also to provide enough training for our editors as well. So AI detection tools provide indicators, not the verdict. So it's really to start a starting point, to start an investigation, so that a human-led evaluation can determine whether the manuscript is scholarly and ethically valid or not. So AI, so from MDPI's perspective, we have lots of different tools that we use, not just with integrating AI, but with lots of tools that really help streamline the whole process of editorial process. For the sake of time, I'm going to go over the very first one, like this one, ethicality, which basically checks manuscripts for ethical concerns and anything ethical breaches. So currently, at the current stage for ethicality, it's a program where we use the PDF version of the paper. We tease out the different sections, so the title, the authorship, and then also like the abstract body, back end, acknowledgement, references, so all little parts, and then we scan them for citations. So self-citations, something that we also check as well if they self-citate too many references of their own, unless it's a very niche kind of field, then maybe that would be a little bit more tolerable. But in general, like we need to reduce the amount of self-citations that they do because it will overinflate like the import impact factors and everything that's not allowed. Of course, out of scope and also fake citations, it will also scan it. And then AI detection, so they will determine whether something is, whether the paper has used for stylistic or refinements, or if they actually generated text as well. So kind of like zero GPT kind of model for this one, just to tease out whether they use it for generation of text or more so for stylistical devices and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, human in the loop is something that we will always keep in mind and ensure someone is there to oversee the whole process. Later on, what we want to do is to expand this as well. So like right now we have the plagiarism and also the AI detection program embedded into ethicality. At the end, we want to integrate STM hub data, the image, which we're planning on using Profig, authorship, citations, duplications, all bundled into one so that they can generate one report, and that can be useful for the editorial board members to make decisions, or I don't know about the reviewers, but probably just the editorial board members to make the decisions. Currently, this program itself is only for internal use, but we do have plans to extend this to the editorial board, and we're seeing how the logistics works so that we can give access to the editorial boards to help them out. But at the same time, right now, if the editorial board requests these kind of reports, we can provide the report to them so that they can better figure out what to do with the manuscript and with the review reports. But of course, once again, human in the loop is what we will ensure. So us publishers hold an important responsibility for ensuring ethical standards and are met with all publications as well. And at MDPI, we have a team of research integrity team of around 14 research integrity specialists. 6 additional one has joined this year, and we have plans to further expand that. We're kind of fortifying our commitment to research integrity. At the same time, we also have a team of ethics committee, which are experienced in editorial process, and they provide mentorship to the global editorial team in different offices as well. And they oversee the whole policies and also guidelines in collaboration with other MDPI committees and also with other industry partners and standards as well. So I just want to end off with a little bit about MDPI. So MDPI is a pioneer in open access publishing. So we're one of the first ones to really start off with open access. All of our journals, all 490 journals are fully open access. And our mission is to become a trusted open access publisher in the world. And in terms of indexing, we are almost 30 years young. Next year will be our 30th year in the business. And and we prioritize coverage in PMC, PubMed, Medline, and many other index portals. And Web of Science, we have over 70 that's within the Web of Science ranked Q1 or Q2. 97% of our journals are covered in Web of Science. Similarly for Scopus, 280 journals are within the Q1 and Q2 categories, and also over 200 of them saw an increase in 2024 in Scopus and indexes. So this program over here is where I come in. I'm the institutional partnership manager, so I govern basically this side, the North American side, in terms of partnerships and how institutional really work with each other and provide support for the librarians. Currently, we have over 900 institutions across the world, including universities, research institutes, funders, and consortia. It started in 2013 to really provide additional means of support for librarians so that they, in turn, can support their faculty members as well. So far in the US alone, we have more than 140 institutions that are part of our membership and growing steadily as well. In Canada, where I'm from the Toronto office, we have over 30 institutions that are part of the membership. Now, just a little shout out for our new consortium agreements, the CARL, the Colorado Alliance of Research Libraries, and also the FSLN, the Federal Science Libraries Network. They are our first North American consortia that is collaborating with us now, and now we're serving more, providing more support for them in Colorado and also across Canada as well. So I want to thank you for the presentation and for your time, especially being the last session before lunch. This is my information, so if you need to send me any questions or you want to catch up or you want to connect, feel free to email me at ryan.siu@mdpi.com, or you can contact me through and connect with me through LinkedIn, and then we can connect from there. Looking forward to the rest of Charleston, and hopefully you enjoy the rest of the conference as well. Thank you. So if there's any questions, I can try to answer. Yes.
You said you've got, I think it was 480 journals, and you maintain a human in the loop on research integrity. Yes. How is that possible? And I've got a second question.
Yeah.
What's your percentage of authors that declare AI use? And is that an accurate representation? Do you believe it? Given that multiple publishers have already come out and said that authors lie.
Yes, that's a very good question. So the first question is about how do we uphold integrity in terms of we have, let's say, close to 500 journals. It's because we are really invested into our editorial process. We have over, I think now more than 9,000 employees across the globe. So we're basically working on the manuscripts and everything around the clock at every single time zone. Whenever one office is off, it passes on to the next one. So we have a huge infrastructure in terms of editorial process so that we can keep an eye out at every stage of time. So our investment, and we're continuing to invest into human side of things as well, while other publishers have been dialing down on the number of hiring for us, our hiring freezes. We've been actively increasing our team as well, both in the North American office and also in other offices as well. I can announce now that we now have a U.S. office as well as in Philadelphia. So it's our very first one, aside from our Toronto, where it has been since the last 5 years or so, that's where I'm from. And now we have one in the office in the US. Hopefully we can better serve editors and also institutional partners better in the US now. And to your second question about how many percentage, I don't have that number with me, but whether I believe that number would be correct or not, I highly doubt that number is correct, especially since it's a self-reported number as well. So it's really hard to say whether the paper itself is, or actually whether that number is truly reflective of what truly stands for the AI usage, because it's a self-reported thing. Oftentimes for any sort of studies about like in health, and when it's a kind of a questionnaire and everything, there's always a really large margin of error as well. So I would say until we can properly detect and count ourselves rather than relying on self-reporting, then that number will always be off. So that's something that we're working on as well, and hopefully we can, with our industry partners in the group, we can really help each other to find a way to safeguard this. And because at the end of the day, research is built on trust, but with AI introduction has really shake that up quite a bit as well, because it's really hard to trust anything that we see online or even in manuscripts anymore. So we have to have more tools and everything to really find a way to enact that. Yeah.
Can I ask one more question? Sorry, sure. I want to steal that. Are you able to, do you know what your percentage of bad content is sort of across paper mill, predatory, and AI?
Yeah, so I don't have the exact number or the percentage, but I can say that there are increasing trends of paper mills and authorship disputes and everything as well, from MDPI and also from for other publishers as well. We've noticed a steady increase of these kind of issues, and that's why we're really expanding our team to address these kind of issues. We're trying to catch these bad players so that these kind of unethical, immoral kind of actions are held responsible, and then we can retract those papers away from what is true and what is real. And those are the ones where researchers can safely rely on, especially in the health industry and stuff like that, so that they don't build upon anything falsified from based on. Yes.
You noted a number of AI tools that you use for detection, but you also noted that the editorial staff is trained in this. Can you talk a bit about what that looks like and how you sustain it as technology continues to evolve?
Yep, exactly. So I can speak a little bit about MDPI as well. So I don't know how the other publishers do the training and everything, but at MDPI, right off the bat, when someone is hired, we have like lots of guidelines and lots of training materials, even like videos that's been uploaded from more senior editors, and they're the ones who like record the videos of actually how to use the tools, how to do the like peer reviewing step by step perfectly, and then using that as a leverage to go from then on. So at every stage, even at the very beginning of assistant editor, and also and then later on into the more ethical side of stuff, we have basically separate videos, separate and also more senior ones to really provide guidance and train them as we have more and more of those tools available. And this is only the tip of the iceberg. There's only ethicality is one of the many other tools that we have to further help our assistant editors to not really speed up, but at the same time make their process a little bit easier and a little bit more streamlined, so that they can do their work with more efficiency. So yeah, that's something that we at MDPI, you're never lost. So like we don't only have to rely on your like seniors to provide you with guidance, especially since we have so many offices around the world. It's sometimes hard to like, okay, maybe a mentor from China or from Europe to really mentor someone from like in Philadelphia or in Toronto. So that's why we have all these videos that's recorded, and then they can do all the training at their own pace. And every time there is a new product in line, we also present that to recording, and also have like a more webinar for our internal team to teach them exactly what's new, so that especially for a more external kind of communication, so that they know what to say and what we can disclose for now and what we can't disclose at the moment. So hopefully we can provide even more support and more tools for not just for the editorial board members, but more so for the general public as well, to kind of safeguard this together. So that's something that we're working on, and if there's any suggestions of how we can further implement these trainings and to play a part in all this like safeguarding, that would be great as well. And we mainly want to start this conversation to get ourselves in there as well, and to start that collaborative work together. Thank you so much, and hope you enjoy lunch and the rest of the travel tomorrow. Thank you.